Christopher Leroi has built a reputation for steady judgment and disciplined clarity in environments where conflict is often intense and outcomes carry lasting consequences. As both a former judge and a seasoned mediator, Christopher Leroi approaches dispute resolution with a focus on trust, neutrality, and practical outcomes. His work reflects more than technical legal expertise. It demonstrates a consistent commitment to guiding people and organizations through complex disagreements with composure and credibility. High-stakes mediation demands more than procedural knowledge. It requires the ability to establish confidence among opposing parties who may enter the process guarded, skeptical, or unwilling to compromise. Christopher Leroi has spent more than 2 decades refining an approach that balances structure with empathy, ensuring that conflict resolution remains both effective and human-centered. His background across judicial service, public policy, and nonprofit leadership informs a style of mediation leadership that prioritizes fairness without losing sight of the people behind each dispute. Trust is the central currency of any successful mediation. Without it, even the most well-structured process can stall. Parties are unlikely to engage openly if they believe the mediator lacks impartiality or does not fully understand their concerns. Christopher Leroi has consistently emphasized that trust is not assumed. It is built deliberately through consistent behavior, clear communication, and respect for all participants. A defining aspect of Christopher Leroy's approach is active listening. Rather than focusing solely on positions or legal arguments, he works to uncover the underlying concerns driving each side. Many disputes persist not because resolution is impossible, but because individuals feel unheard. By ensuring that each party has the opportunity to express their perspective fully, he reduces defensiveness and creates space for constructive dialogue. Empathy plays an equally important role. High-stakes conflicts often involve emotional layers that are not immediately visible. Christopher Leroi recognizes that acknowledging these dynamics can be critical to moving forward. His ability to remain calm while validating concerns helps shift conversations from confrontation toward collaboration. This balance of professionalism and understanding reinforces confidence in the process. Consistency further strengthens trust. Parties observe how a mediator manages time, attention, and tone. Christopher Leroy's disciplined approach ensures that each participant is treated with equal respect. Over time, this consistency signals reliability, which encourages greater openness and willingness to engage. Neutrality is often misunderstood as passive detachment. In practice, it requires active discipline. A mediator must guide discussions without favoring either side, even when disputes become emotionally charged or complex. For Christopher Leroi, neutrality is both a principle and a practice shaped by years of judicial experience. His time on the bench reinforced the importance of impartiality in decision-making. Judges are expected to evaluate arguments without bias, maintain composure under pressure, and ensure fairness in every proceeding. These same expectations inform Christopher Leroy's work in mediation. He brings a structured sense of fairness that reassures participants that the process is balanced and credible. Maintaining neutrality also requires careful communication. Christopher Leroi avoids language that could be interpreted as advocacy or judgment. Instead, he frames discussions in ways that encourage exploration rather than defensiveness. By asking thoughtful questions and reflecting key points, he helps parties examine their own positions without feeling challenged or dismissed. Importantly, neutrality does not mean inaction. Effective mediation leadership involves guiding conversations toward resolution while preserving independence. Christopher Leroi achieves this by focusing on process rather than outcome. He creates an environment where parties can reach their own agreements, ensuring that solutions are both voluntary and durable. Resistance is a natural component of conflict resolution. Parties may arrive at mediation unwilling to compromise, skeptical of the process, or entrenched in their positions. Christopher Leroi approaches resistance as a source of information rather than an obstacle. Understanding why a party resists often reveals the key to moving forward. One of his primary techniques is de-escalation. When tensions rise, maintaining a calm and measured tone can prevent conflicts from intensifying. Christopher Leroy's ability to remain composed helps stabilize discussions, allowing participants to refocus on substance rather than emotion. Reframing is another essential tool. By shifting how issues are presented, He helps parties move from rigid positions to underlying interests. For example, a dispute framed as a zero-sum outcome can be reframed to highlight shared goals or mutual benefits. This shift often opens pathways to solutions that were not initially apparent. Targeted questioning also plays a critical role. Christopher Leroi uses questions to explore assumptions, clarify priorities, and encourage reflection. These questions are not confrontational. They are designed to prompt deeper thinking and reveal areas of flexibility. Reality testing is applied when appropriate. This involves helping parties evaluate potential outcomes if the dispute remains unresolved. By considering risks, costs, and time, participants gain a clearer understanding of their options. This perspective can motivate more constructive engagement. Through these techniques, Christopher Leroi transforms resistance into progress. His approach emphasizes patience and precision, ensuring that each step of the process moves toward meaningful resolution. Christopher Leroy's effectiveness as a mediator is closely tied to the breadth of his professional experience. His service as a judge provided first-hand insight into how disputes unfold in formal legal settings. He understands the limitations of litigation, including its costs, delays, and adversarial nature. This perspective reinforces his commitment to mediation as a more efficient and collaborative alternative. His judicial background also strengthened his ability to assess complex dynamics. Evaluating evidence, managing proceedings, and maintaining fairness are skills that translate directly into mediation leadership. These experiences enable him to bring structure and clarity to even the most complicated disputes. Beyond the courtroom, Christopher Leroi has played a significant role in nonprofit leadership and public policy. His work with advocacy organizations focused on advancing rights and expanding access to services has shaped a broader understanding of conflict. These roles required collaboration across diverse stakeholders, including government entities, community groups, and individuals with varying perspectives. Leading interdisciplinary teams further developed his ability to navigate competing priorities. In these settings, success depended on building consensus and aligning goals across different interests. This experience informs his approach to mediation, where similar challenges often arise. Christopher Leroy's background in policy and advocacy also reinforces a commitment to equity. He recognizes that effective conflict resolution must consider not only legal positions but also broader impacts on individuals and communities. This perspective adds depth to his work, ensuring that outcomes are both fair and sustainable. At the core of Christopher Leroy's work is a belief that conflict resolution should serve people, not just processes. While legal frameworks provide structure, the success of mediation ultimately depends on human engagement. His approach integrates compassion with discipline, ensuring that participants feel respected while remaining focused on results. This human-centered perspective is evident in how he prepares parties for mediation. He encourages individuals and organizations to clarify their objectives, understand their priorities, and approach discussions with openness. Preparation is not limited to legal strategy. It includes mindset, which plays a critical role in determining how parties engage with one another. Christopher Leroi also emphasizes the importance of long-term outcomes. Agreements reached through mediation should not only resolve immediate disputes but also support ongoing relationships when necessary. This is particularly relevant in cases involving businesses, families, or organizations that must continue interacting after the dispute is resolved. Mediation offers a constructive alternative to litigation by prioritizing collaboration over confrontation. It allows parties to retain control over outcomes rather than relying on external decisions. Christopher Leroi consistently highlights these advantages, positioning mediation as both practical and forward-looking. Accessibility is another key component of his approach. Through the use of virtual mediation, he has helped expand access to dispute resolution for individuals and communities that may face geographic or financial barriers. This aligns with his broader commitment to equity and inclusion, ensuring that conflict resolution is available to those who need it most. Christopher Leroi stands out in the field of mediation through a combination of experience, discipline, and a clear commitment to fairness. His work reflects a deep understanding of how trust and neutrality shape successful outcomes in high-stakes conflict resolution. By integrating insights from judicial service, public policy, and nonprofit leadership, he has developed a model of mediation leadership that is both structured and adaptable. Christopher Leroi continues to guide individuals and organizations through complex disputes with a focus on clarity, respect, and practical solutions. His ability to manage tension, build trust, and maintain impartiality positions him as a credible and steady presence in challenging situations. As the demand for effective conflict resolution continues to grow, mediation offers a path that balances efficiency with humanity. Christopher Leroy's approach demonstrates how thoughtful, principled leadership can transform disputes into opportunities for understanding and resolution.